So I've told this story a few hundred times probably to different clients of how we got the franchise. I actually told it like a year ago, and one of the clients said, well, you should put this on film. And I said, no, it's better personally. But because it's our 25th anniversary, we decided to put this on tape, the story of how we got our franchise. It dates back to November of 1998 when a good friend of mine, Jeff Cauley, talked me into taking a Corvette race car that I owned and competing in the 24 Hours of Daytona race. We could have up to 5 drivers. One of the drivers that was recommended to us was Rick Mancuso, the Ferrari dealer from Chicago. Rick's father used to be a Chevy dealer, so he had an affinity for the Corvette as well. So Rick and I were talking before the race. This was in November of 98, mid to late November. And I made the comment that there's no Ferrari dealer, or that I thought they had awarded the Ferrari dealer in Detroit. And Rick says to me, no, Ferrari aren't happy with any of the candidates they have. He said, why? Are you interested? I said, sure I am. So Rick puts me in touch with the right person at Ferrari, Rich Sherbet, who is a sales manager for Ferrari North America. So I reach out to Rich and get no response. Reach out again, no response. I'm torn between being persistent and didn't want to be a pest. Meantime, Rich is complaining to Rick that he still can't find a dealer for Detroit. So Rick says, well, did you give Cauley a call? And Rich says, no, I didn't. You know, why should I? Who is this guy? And Rick says, well, I don't know him that well, but he seems like a good guy. Give him a call. So in the meantime, we had done a remodel on our Chevy store, so we had a builder and an architect. So I reached out to them and had a meeting with them on Friday, December 5th, and at noontime. And I showed them, I told them visually how I wanted the Ferrari dealership to sit, which was going to be on where our used car lot was at our Chevy store at the time. So they leave my office that Friday at noon, and the phone rings, and it's Rich Sherbet from Ferrari North America. So we had a great half-hour phone conversation. Everything went well, and he says, can you have me a proposal by Monday? Now, this is Friday at noon. Fortunately, I'd been working on a lot of stuff, so I had our financial statement, which was strong. I had our customer satisfaction reports, which were real strong. Go to the FedEx office, get everything off in the mail. I'm feeling really good. And he gets it the following Monday, and he gives me a call, and he says, Jeff, there's no pro forma financial statement. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, heck, I don't even know what the margins are on a Ferrari. You know, I provided you an actual financial statement and actual results. Pro forma you can make look however you want it to look. So I'm telling this to Rick Mancuso from Chicago, and Rick says, Jeff, I'll help you through that and, you know, tell you what they want to hear. So Rick helps me through that, get that to him right away. And then I think Rich comes out for a visit right away, very quickly, and he likes what he sees. Everything goes real well. And then he says to me, okay, now we got to get you past John Luigi Bottoni, who is the president of Ferrari North America, and he warned me. He said he's very Italian and very intense. And I said, okay. So again, this is all happening very quickly. Fast forward to Wednesday evening, December 16th at 5 p.m. I get a phone call from Rich Sherbet telling me that Bottoni will meet me the next morning at 9 a.m. at his office, which is in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's going to be the most expensive plane ticket I ever bought the night before, but that's okay. I literally then called the airline, and there was a flight the next morning for $179 at 7 a.m. Great, sign me up. Hang up the phone, and in walks our architect from when I had had that meeting previously with them, and he comes in with an artist rendering of the new facility that I had proposed. And I did not know he was coming that day. So it's like, yes, the stars are lining up. I get on the plane the next morning with my artist rendering in hand, and we go and we meet in Rich Sherbet's office, and in comes Bottoni and Tom Heffernan, their chief financial officer. And as long as they gave me an opening, I kept talking. I brought photo albums from big Corvette parties we had done in the past, and you know, I'm telling them all my ideas and plans. And then at one point he says to me, he says, well, you aren't doing this to sell more, just to sell more Corvettes, are you? And I said, absolutely not. I said, it might have that effect because, you know, everybody appreciates the Ferrari, but no, that's not why I'm doing it. And so I think he respected that. And then I showed him my artist rendering, which I was all excited about. He didn't like it because it wasn't the right corporate colors and ID. And you know, we talked for, I basically did most of the talking for about 45 minutes or so, and then they leave. And when they left, Rich Sherbet says to me, oh man, he really liked you. I said, really? I said, how can you tell? He said, well, the other candidates he's yelled at and kicked out of here. So that was a good sign. So by this time it's like 10 a.m. and Rich goes over a couple of quick things with me, but he didn't want to babysit me all day, so he gives me some directions to the local mall, and I go do some Christmas shopping. And you know, son Joe was only 11 years old at the time. And I get home at, I don't know, probably about 6 p.m. and I walk in the door, and Joe says to me, Dad, you got to call Rich Sherbet from Ferrari right away. And I said, okay, I'll call him. So I called Rich up. Now keep in mind, this was December of 1998. I was probably the last business person alive that did not own a cell phone at that point. And so I call Rich up, and the first thing he says to me, he says, man, you got to get a cell phone. I said, okay, I'll get one. And then he says to me, he says, okay, and now I need your social security number so I can run a credit check on you. And I'm FedExing out a dealer agreement to you. And I said, oh, okay. And then he says to me, Jeff, you don't seem that excited. And I said, well, I'm kind of bummed I can't get the design I wanted for the building. And he says to me, Jeff, I just told you you're about to become a Ferrari dealer. Don't worry about the design on the building. So we would always joke about that for years afterward. So it was just incredibly fast from start to finish. I think we came in with the right background. As a large volume Corvette dealer, we were used to dealing with clients who were passionate about their vehicles, much like Ferrari. My racing background was very instrumental, I believe, in it all happening so quickly. The auto show was coming up in the North American International Auto Show in January, which was the only show that Ferrari did in the United States. So I think we were both motivated to make this happen before that event. So again, very, very quickly. I almost had buyer's remorse after it happened, because I remember thinking, first of all, well, what are our Corvette customers going to think? But in reality, they thought it was wonderful, because it's kind of cool that their Corvette dealer had the Ferrari franchise in the state of Michigan. And then I also remember thinking, what are these Ferrari clients going to be like to deal with? But in reality, after, I can say this with 25 years of experience, they have been some of the most down-to-earth people you ever want to meet. They aren't buying the car to impress anybody. They're buying it out of a true love and passion for the tremendous piece of automotive artwork that it is, and for the excellence of the car. And many of our clients have become close personal friends, and it's just been a great family, and it's been a really great 25 years.